people come on. How was your morning, Sarah?
It was good. Just finished my last, 4 clients thus far, and then I think I have 6 more after this, starting at 2:30.
I love it.
Brows.
And look at your beautiful space.
Yeah. This is my gallery wall, guys. This is all work I've done as a makeup artist. It's kind of my main gig years ago. So yeah, I kind of filled my wall with all my beautiful faces I've had the joy of painting.
Yes, I love that. Let's jump right into that. Tell us about a little bit about how you got into brows. Like obviously you've done my brows, you've done my makeup, both like so beautiful. Tell us a little bit about your background in makeup. Let's start there.
Yeah, so I always was interested in working in beauty. I knew I wanted to do makeup. So right out of high school, I started working at MAC is kind of how I got into makeup. So I did that for a couple years. Then after leaving MAC, I've worked so much in makeup over the last 13 years. So I've done commercial. I've worked with some like B-list celebrities. I've worked with amazing brands like Puma and Swimco, but it's so hard to maintain like a solid career in makeup in Alberta. And I know a lot of you ladies from smaller-ish, or not even necessarily a smaller city, but not a mega city. It's hard to be in the beauty business, especially makeup, and build a career. So I always had other jobs. And then 3 years ago, brows kind of just like dawned on me that it's a service that people have to come back to, which is another great thing, is that it's not just season based. People, if they're on top of it, they need to come back 6 weeks, 3 weeks, bi-monthly or monthly to get the service redone again, like a haircut. So it was a really good transition from makeup because brows came easy when I was working with the face. And then, yeah, it's been amazing ever since. It's really enabled me a career in beauty. So I love it.
Can you explain like, okay, so two things. Explain brows. Like when you say brows, what are you referring to? Like what are you doing to the brows?
Yeah.
And then I want to know, and this was a great question that was asked to me about this course, like the longevity of brows. Like, is brows just having a hot minute? Like for me personally, I hope not, because I feel so much better with brows. Then I do not want to go back to my plucked, skinny brows. I feel so done up when my brows are done. So yeah, can you talk about that? Like what is brows, and then like why do you think it has longevity in the beauty industry?
Totally. So when I say brows, I started with brow maintenance services. So brow maintenance services means shaping, tinting, lamination. A lot of people who do that also do lash lifts, but generally when it's brows, just anything to maintain them. And then now I do more permanent makeup as well. But my main business, and for the last 2 years, like before this last year, has all been brow maintenance services. So you really can create an amazing career off just brow maintenance services, or as an added bonus as well to tanning. But in terms of it being just a thing for the minute or a trend, brows in general are not going away. So it's definitely been a new thing in terms of people realizing how important they are. So yeah, we had like people focus on it with the skinny brow trend, but now it's regardless of trends, people are like, oh, like having brows matters. And I think permanent makeup was kind of the start for that, where people are like, oh, I have skinny brows or I have no brows, and having my brow tattooed makes a difference. But now we realize the importance of, even if you aren't doing something permanent, being able to maintain what you have or make what you have the best they can be makes a huge difference. And I mean, like mainstream, like celebrities have always been doing that, but it's just never something we really talked about.
Yeah.
So no, brows are not just a trend, but in terms of lamination, my favorite thing about lamination is that the number one reason people are getting it done, I find now, is not because of the fluffy brow trend, but because it actually makes your brows look fuller, and it can tame unruly hairs. So it's more of a problem solver than a trend, if that makes sense.
Well, and that's really, like your signature, right? Like your signature is like the freebie that that we're going to talk about at the end of this, but is the shaping and teaching the client how to shape. But you need to have that form, and the lamination is going to let you shape the client's brows or let them go home and shape them on their own, you get to control where your brows are going to go, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
For those of you that joined us, I'm just going to quickly introduce Sarah again. I'm going to try this again, Sarah, the name. So this is Sarah from Cultluer.
Cultluer.
Cultluer. I totally butchered it.
That's
It's probably like, oh my God.
No, it's fine.
But I know you guys know this, but like Sunna doesn't partner with anyone that we don't believe in. You know, Sarah, Brandy and I both had our brows done from Sarah, and it's been an amazing experience from start to finish. And really what attracted us to her was her passion. Obviously she has the skill, but she has the passion. We don't want you guys learning from anyone that's just gonna like teach you something and then they disappear. Sarah really has a passion for teaching, and she has a lot to teach. She has, you know, over 13 years in the beauty industry, and that attracted us to do this for you. So I just wanted to put that out there. Okay, let's keep going through the list here. Okay, so everyone here, for the most part, does tanning.
Yes.
So how would brows fit into their schedule? Like, would we do the tan first, then the brows second?
Yes. So there are both options. You can definitely do brows after. The only reason why, or sorry, do the brows first. The only reason why I'm hesitant to do brows after is because of waxing and weirdness there. But if you do the brows first and then you use a barrier cream, well, there pretty much is already a barrier cream when the client leaves after brow lamination. It's called a regeneration cream, which is a moisturizer for the brows, and it's much like a Vaseline. So there already is a barrier there. So what I would say for clients is do your brows first, you go into your tan with the barrier cream on, and then after that you can use tint remover to fix any or to not allow any change in color.
Yeah. And I know like when I was running my tanning business, like I actually didn't like to really tan the face that much. Like it was a light coat.
Yes.
There's so many things you could do. Like if you were worried, you could, you know, not tan the client's face and even go in with your brush and like a little bit of spray tan solution on the brush, or Keep Me Golden, and like just put it where it needs to be, or contour the client's face even before they left. I know the one problem, especially if you have more fair skin or like fair hairs like I do, is if you do them back to back without a barrier, and the tint and the tan can sometimes turn orangey. I know we've talked about this in our Facebook group before. That's really that's the biggest concern, is the waxing and like the tint, the coloring. But I think if you used a barrier balm or didn't do the face super dark, which I think you'll be fine anyways. Okay, how often do clients get their brows done? Like I see you like every couple months. Sometimes I can go a little bit longer. Like what is your normal client? Like how often are they coming?
I would say average is 8 weeks. The clients who are on it, who would love to have it done regularly, can come as early as 6 weeks, no earlier. Clients who are on it can come every 3 weeks, meaning at 3 weeks they do like a touch up, which is another way to get them in. You can do a shaping and tinting again, and then 3 weeks later you can re-laminate. But in terms of lamination, that has to be done no earlier than 6 weeks.
Okay, cool. And can you give us a sneak peek of your course? So like what can our Sunna fam expect if they take your course?
Yeah, so you're going to get a video demonstration completely of how I perform the service. So you'll see that with a model. I'm going to show you step by step of how I perform the lamination, tint, and using wax as well. And then you'll have your workbook that will have everything written out for you to follow along if that's how you learn better. And then you're also given a complete product list that will give you every product I use, right down from like the actual solutions on the brows, as well as all the disposables. So brows is a lot on disposable products, and there are definitely ways to be more environmentally friendly with that as well. But yeah, you'll have that complete list as well as links, and your first purchase you will get 15% off with the distributor that I use. But of course there are options. Yeah, so that's pretty much you're set to go from there with that list and everything, besides your larger items like a chair you would need.
Yeah, I want you to show us that. I want you to show us your room. But before you do that,
Yeah.
how much does one brow service cost? And then how did you figure out your pricing? So like, what's it
Yeah.
gonna cost us? And then how do you go about charging that client?
Totally. So brow lamination would be the highest it would cost you in terms of there's like you could do just shape and tints or you could do lamination. That probably costs around $5, maybe less for me to actually do the service. And I currently charge my lowest price is 110 and then the highest being 130. And that takes me about 45 minutes to perform that service. And the reason I actually have a 3-tier system with the brow lamination. So I call it the Goldilocks method. And that's a great way to, most people will go for the higher one. And if not, they go for the middle one. So that's a great way to sell people with a higher ticket. And the reason is 110 would be no tint. So just lamination and shaping. Middle one is with regular tint. And then the last one is with hybrid tint, which again, you guys will learn. So hybrid tint is just, yeah, more dramatic.
Okay, cool. Can you give us a little like overview of the equipment? Obviously you have your wax pots.
Yep.
And then you said like you have like a flatbed, right?
So yeah, I have a flatbed, definitely less, you'll need a lot of room for that. Most popular for brows is the reclining chair. So most people do that. I like the flatbed because I do permanent makeup as well. So I need something where people can lay down. But yeah, you can get lots of reclining chairs. You need them at least, yeah, back 45 degrees at least. And then lighting, and that would be it for your larger supplies besides, yeah, wax.
And that's all in your course, all your favorites.
Yes.
Yeah. And you and I were talking a little bit about products because obviously like there's so many options out there. And you were saying why you chose the product you chose was because of just the quality and that it takes a little bit longer. Do you want to just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I use a product called, it's a very strange name. It's called Thuya, which is Thuya. It's a product out of Barcelona. So I do like European products because their standards are actually quite
So
high.
much higher than, yeah.
Yes, so that's just an unfortunate fact, as much as we, of course, love to support Canadian products as much as possible, which again, those options are available for you guys. But yes, I use this product because high standards, and of course, they don't test on animals or anything like that. But in terms of the processing time, it's very important. So you'll see a lot of products, they'll be like processing time takes 6 to 8 minutes, which is great in terms of how many clients you can get in, but it's not better for your hair. So what we call a product that takes longer is a slower burn. Not, of course, we're not burning the hair,
No.
a slower burn instead of something super intense. So I like it for that reason. And also it doesn't have added fragrance. So the product is quite smelly. It smells like a perm, only lasts for about a minute in terms of the scent. But we don't want added fragrance. So yeah, the less of that, the better. So that is why I use this product.
I love that. And then what do you charge for the service? I don't think you talked about that.
Yeah, 110 to 130. I would say start around 75 until you, I mean, it depends on if it's who you have doing the service. Of course, if you feel like their quality is up to standard, but I prefer starting a little lower because sometimes the results can be a little varying to be charging like full ticket. But yeah, I think 130, and by next year I'll be charging, I think 150 for the highest brow lamination.
Good.
Yeah.
And what does your product cost on that? If you're charging 130 on your biggest ticket, what is your product cost?
Yeah, $6.
That's sick.
Yeah, crazy return.
Yeah, really good. Okay. And then I know a lot of people had questions on if they could do it in the US. So that was like one of the biggest questions asked in our group.
Yes. So I literally went through every state. I'm pretty sure every state you would be required to have an aesthetics certification to do brow lamination. Pretty much anything that involves tinting or waxing. So yes, if you're in the US, you will have to be certified or have someone who's certified to do that. Some are a little more lenient in terms of hours, or I think there are a couple states that you're allowed to have someone present who is certified, but I think there was only like a couple states that had that. But generally, if you are in the US, you are going to need to be certified. Canada is a lot easier. So a lot more lenient there.
Okay, we have a ton of people asking or raising their hand. Not sure if the chat was open. Doesn't look like the chat was open.
Did Brandy said she maybe has it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. 2 attendees.
Oh, weird.
I'm just gonna let these people talk. The only way I know. Oh, Q&A. Here we go. Oh yeah, certified in aesthetic. So that's what somebody asked. So we already answered that.
Yeah.
What's the name of the European brand?
Thoya. So TH, I can type it in here. It's THUYA. Did it go in?
Yeah. Okay, and then what was the offer? So the offer we wanted to add in today. Do you want to talk about that? Your signature?
Yeah. So this is another thing that's made me more of an expert in the field is so many people I'm not sure you guys have noticed, a lot of people are trying to offer brow lamination. Like I'm a hairstylist and I laminate brows, but they take it so frivolously instead of like as in it's just 3 products you apply and then you're done. But many clients will bite on that and get that cheap service done quickly, but then come crawling back to me or finding me because it went horribly wrong. So there's truly an art, of course, to shaping brows and how you laminate and shape them at the end, which ultimately impacts the results, is very important. So really taking care in how you style the brows when they're laminated so they don't look electrocuted, which I'm sure we've seen, not scary straight up brows. You want a nice sweep. Has made me set apart. So the freebie is, of course, you get the course for $299. And then if you guys buy within the first 24 hours after this call, you'll get my I call it slick styling course for free. So in that course, it's not too long, but it just shows you how to style the brow in a more classic way while the brows are laminated. So it sounds a little complicated, but a lot of people think brows that are laminated have to be fluffy, but they actually can be more classically shaped. And I'll show you how to do that in that course.
I love that. And then once they join your course too, they'll have access to your Facebook.
Yes.
Your private Facebook group too.
Yeah, have access to my Facebook and you have access to me. Honestly, that was such a huge problem for me when I first started. I had no one to help me through it because there can be quite a learning curve, especially with more of the tinting and shaping aspects. So I am here for you guys, in that group and personally.
I love that. So Jessica also wants to know how much is the course? We just said that, $299. Is that in Canadian or US?
That's Canadian.
Canadian. And then does the lamination always include waxing? No, right?
No, you could. So yeah, I don't personally offer that as an option. Like if someone really requested it, of course I would do it. But I don't offer that because I take pride in, or a huge part of my business is shaping. But 100% you just make it a little cheaper. So maybe like 100 or something. But yeah, no, you definitely don't have to shape. But if the client's brows are crazy and you just laminate them, I don't think that's a good idea. So if they're already shaped and they're fine, they don't need shaping, sure, but you can't laminate them and they have like hairs everywhere because it would look absolutely crazy. So make sure someone can shape.
We have somebody asking if they can pay, like somebody from the US can still buy your course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's a better deal for you, Elizabeth.
Yeah,
always exactly. Stronger than ours. All right. I don't know if we missed anything.
Is it really, really smelly?
Oh yeah, smelly.
Strong. So really, it is really, really smelly, but it only lasts for a minute. Literally, like the initial scent, you'll apply the product. It is quite stinky, and then you put on cling wrap, like saran wrap, and the scent only lasts for a minute. It's not there the whole time, trust me. If it was there the whole time, that would be horrible. So like, when someone perms hair, it's there the whole time. It's not like that. So just initially
I didn't even notice it. Like I've been to you now, what, 3 times? I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, some people are like, oh, it's strong, but it doesn't stop anyone from getting it done. So
Someone's asking, you just take the styling course. The styling course is, how
no,
much is the styling course on
I
its
mean,
own?
it is $50. I mean, you could if you already know how to. It's more of like a
An add-on to your course and your technique.
yes,
Can this be done over microblading?
100%. Yeah, it's honestly a great thing because even when you get tattoos done, you can generally see the difference because the product is sitting in the skin and then you have hairs over top. So lamination actually melts the whole brow together. It looks a lot more seamless. So yeah, very popular.
Somebody is asking, do you happen to have or include the lash lift as well?
Course wise, at the moment, no, I don't. No. Eventually, yes. But it's a great thing to offer. It's a very similar process. Lashes are a lot more delicate, but it's the same idea.
Tanya's asking, what if you need more training on brow shaping? Does your course go into that?
Currently, no, but I have an array of courses that will definitely give you guys the arsenal to do so.
Yeah, and I'm sure like in the Facebook group, if you did need more help, you could ask to, or yeah, do a Zoom with Sarah.
Totally.
Okay, cool. I'll give people a couple more minutes to ask some more questions. Brandy, do you want to do? Yeah, Brandy's doing that math question. Great. Yeah, I think we covered it all.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, thank you. Oh, here they come. How long is the course?
It's just under an hour.
Easy breezy.
Mm-hmm.
Where can we buy the product? So you had said there's all in your course, it's all listed, right?
Yeah, it's all listed and there's links. So you can't go wrong.
Perfect. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, of course.
And if you guys have a lot more questions, we can always get Sarah back in our Facebook group, or she can go live in there. Let us know if we missed anything. And yeah, thank you for joining us.
Awesome. Yay. Thanks for having me.
Okay, bye.
Bye.